And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist. It's like video games that's like a commentary. Last left off, we were investigating in the library with Kogami. So let's begin. So let's continue, I should say. We already began last episode. It won't be declassified for another 30... Well, actually, if you want to be technical, we began 2 episodes ago, but whatever. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I return the file to the shelf. Okay, so I feel like since this one is like closest to his desk, it'd probably the lamp would probably be this one maybe that would have the clue. So, because I don't want to be forced into missing anything, let's look at this first. There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. If you're thinking of looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh? What do you mean? All those files there are the investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are the internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of things. They're not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Oh! All right, let's look at this. There's so many files stuffed into the shelf. What's in all these things? Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail other people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? No, I mean the ones with the real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. Okay, cultural fact, by the way, the Diet is what you call like the Japanese, like, not really House of Rep, like the Japanese, Congress, House of Rep, legal stuff. You know, law, political stuff. It's called the Diet. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. No, I mean the ones with the real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. So, are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here. It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be real, right? That's your guys' problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it as a lie. Well, it's not that. It's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? How could anyone have put this entire frickin' death game together? Makoto, seriously? I suppose it goes to show just how much power Hope's Peak truly wields. Or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible. What do you mean usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, simple. Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there is no doubt. Hold on a second, you're saying you read all these documents and more than once? But all this has to be like top secret confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as the domestic. How is that possible? I already told you, there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council, and I have within the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forward. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is starting to actually scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through these reports has always been a hobby of mine ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf. This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack case has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are 2 notable characters in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that every crime scene, the word bloodless is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodless is written in blood, and the victim's body is suspended. It is exactly the same as what happened to Jiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about the particular fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about the aspect of each crime. Only key official and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body is most certainly mounted in this fashion. So, how could the killer have known about suspending the victim? That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple. The culprit isn't a copycat killer, it's the real Genocide Jack. That right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then, Genocide Jack really is? Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us? Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two. If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Oh, shut up. Buddy, I can figure this out for myself! Let's look at this. They reveal the ones with real power. The secret council control everything of the shadow. They deal the people. Draw the world behind the dangerous truth for a commoner. Well, are you going to look? For now, I think I'd rather not. Let's go to the cold cases. There's a ton of thick files over the bookshelf. All those files are there, and the investigation reports lead to the different cold cases. Those are internal document. It's the kind of. Let me talk. Wait, was the thing that I talked to him about? Was that like a whatchamacallit? Byakuya, about the Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see? Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. Byakuya handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I had reached the page where photos of the scene of each crime had all been collected. Scissors! Huh. Okay. The names of the Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32. Tatsuhiro Honda, 17. Shojigaku, 23. Let's speak English here. Kanno Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Komatsu Taro, Takefumi Gono, Uchida Naohisa, Takeshi Masumune, Yuto Yumejima. There is no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodless was left on the victim's own blood. Now, take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page... Profiling results. All the crimes took place either on weekdays or at night, or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killing to take place is on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there is any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may have potentially suffered from a dissociative identity disorder. Okay, so all the evidence seems to be pointing to Fukawa, right? And I had that, but I feel like that's too obvious. I feel like that is too obvious, ladies and gentlemen. Besides, what entails a dissociative identity disorder, huh? The key point is that the culprit may well have a split personality. So, the obvious thing would be Fukawa, right? But like I said, we don't even know if Fujisaki has one of those. I'm still holding on to that because I'm just expecting a real big twist here. I don't know. A split personality, like the kind of thing you see on TV? So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up until now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. Genocide Jack case file has an add to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we go? Oh, wait a minute. What if both Fujisaki and Fukawa are related to the genocide jack thing? What about that? What about that? What if they're both related? Somehow. I need to keep that in mind. Anywhere but here. We've finished our business here, haven't we? Oh, wait, Byakuya! Because the thing is, I don't think it's Fukawa who was the murderer, because the thing is, she has to see. The thing is, in order for her to go into that second personality, she has to see blood, right? So I don't think she would just she'd have to see blood. I don't think she has those natural murderous intentions unless she's in that second personality. So it's kind of a catch-22. In order to get into that personality, she has to see blood. And if she doesn't attack in her normal mode, she's just going to stay in her normal mode. So what does that entail, ladies and gentlemen? As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that? Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own. Well, goodbye. And just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he'd asked me to join him, he cut me off. And in the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack, he's the one that killed Chihiro. And that murderous fiend is one of us! But who is it? I have to find that out, no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go to investigate one more time. I have to go back to the crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room, too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Alright, so first and foremost, anyway, that I'm a lawyer. Let's go ahead and save. System, save every 2 seconds, huh? Let's go over this. Save over 2 seconds, huh? I haven't saved this entire recording session up until just now, so what are you talking about every 2 seconds? My foot, buddy! Anyway, I was going to go to the locker room anyway. So, I want to go to the guys' locker room first, actually. Because the girls' locker room is where the important stuff is, right? So let's go to the guy... Yamada, what are you doing here? Ding, ding, ding! Infamy has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit! Another stat increase for me! Evidence? What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet, but I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah, Miss Ludenberg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see? She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right? Okay, he's definitely talking about a tsundere right there. Okay, so where's Celeste now? The warehouse by the dorms! She was there, but at the same time, not there! What's it gonna be? It's kind of weird though, because they're like, sometimes they ignore saying, various like anime tropes, like tsundere, yandere, and whatnot, but at the same time, they're asking questions. They make reference to like Suru no Ngaishi, for example, the giving crane, the crane's gift, whatever the heck, I don't know how to say it in English, Suru no Ngaishi, or like Utsunomiya being like super famous for gyoza. They have all these things that are like, you pretty much have to be like someone who's really into Japanese culture to really know, but then they ignore certain things like that. I find it to be interesting. I mean, it's just one of those things that I'm not really going to be able to talk about that, am I? How like I tweeted out about this a long time ago. Janet Su, the person, she was in charge of like I tweeted out a blog that she posted a long time ago. She did the voice of Lady Von Karma, the sound bites at least, and she also was in charge of the localization team for Justice for All and Ace Attorney Justice for All and Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. But there's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? Boys' locker room carpet has been added to the Truthful section of her handbook. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. She was in charge of that, but like, the difference she said between translation and the difference she said between translation and whatchamacallit, well, let's look at this first. Translation localization is, huh? This poster. It's a popular boy band name called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't seem to fit in the boys' locker room. Anyway, translation is simply changing the language. Localization is translating the emotion, right? The point of the localization is to get is so that the player can understand the game, can be emotionally invested in the game, just like the original person who did it in the original language. And in that case, I understand why, you know, Ace Attorney takes place in Japanifornia, because having played, you know, or having like been watching a playthrough of the Japanese version of the first game, and I'm going to be planning on watching like playthroughs of all 3 of them. My enjoyment of them, both in Japanese and English, is basically about the same, so I'd say that it's basically a very good localization. I'd say this is an interesting translation, but as a localization, there are certain aspects of it that, like, it doesn't quite bother me, because, like, I get most of the stuff, I'm very familiar with Japanese culture and everything, but, like, for someone else, I kind of wonder. The word bloodless is written on the wall in blood, just like in all those other Genocide Jack cases. The crime scene, the word bloodless is written in the victim's own blood. Let's look at this. The master... Let's look at the bloodstain. I wonder what the random Japanese word will be for this recording session. I thought about one, but I decided not to. This case, there's a bloodstain on the carpet. It could only have been caused by Chihiro's murder. Okay, well actually, I guess that will be your random Japanese word. Okay, it's the bloodstain poster. It's the bloodstain poster. The blood is the most noteworthy part. Okay. The big-breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. The girls' locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd find something like this. Oh, but wait, that reminds me, the poster in the other locker room is... Hey, you don't think... That's right, there's definitely something strange about this. In the boys' locker room, there's a poster of a popular boy band. In the girls' locker room, there's a poster of a big-breasted swimsuit model. Could the poster have been switched? But if they were, why? What reason would anyone have? Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little more about the locker rooms. Locker room poster been added to the true bullet section. That'll be a random Japanese... Oh, no, there's still more I need to check. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so Togami was talking about cold cases, right? Let's go ahead and save. But oh yeah, I guess we do save every 2 seconds. Shut up. Shut up! I don't save every 2 seconds! You say that again, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass! I tell you, I'm doing whatever I want, buddy! Anyway. Let's see here. Why did I just randomly go into Oada mode? I don't know. Truth bullets section. Truth bullets, yeah. Okay, so he's talking about cold cases, right? So I've been playing... I talked about this before in my Child of Light series, an episode that went out a few days ago at this point, but it went up on Monday. If you're watching the Saturday that it went out, it was the Monday episode. I forgot what number it was. Okay. Main hole handbooks. Handbooks of each student that has died and placed in the mailbox in the main hall. One of the handbooks found in the main hall has been broken, which apparently is a rare occurrence. Junkon Sayaka's handbook seems still works, so it's assumed that the broken handbook is Leon's. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have broken. The other Genocide Jack victims include Kinhara, Tetsuhiro Honda, Shojigaku, among countless others. They were killed in the same way and mounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodless was found at the scene of each crime written in blood. Profiling indicates the killer is likely a student suffering from a split personality. The carpet in the boys' locker room was found with a black backlash stain on it. What was found in the poster in the girls' locker room? The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for a boy band popular with teenage girls. I've been playing this game called Last Window on the DS. I've been playing it in Japanese. It's a really fun game. And just like I did in the whatchamacallit, I'll just go ahead and add a card for the save file music, because why not? We already saved. But anyway, in that case, you're constantly, basically, you're the person you play as Kyle Hyde. His father, for reasons, is dead, and his case file and the case that you're investigating it's a cold case, essentially. They keep saying mikaiketsu, which is not yet solved. That would like a jikin, a jikin is a case, right? Like an incident in a case, and then mikaiketsu is an unsolved case. That'll be a random Japanese word for the recording session. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and have an awkward pause, I suppose. You ready, ladies and gentlemen? You ready? You ready? I don't know. Hey Kyoko, have you had... Clearly I'm not. Hey Kyoko, have you made any progress on your investigation? Generally speaking. But I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Okay, now we'll have an awkward pause.